Everyone has that one TV character they adore, and at least one they love to hate. The Big Bang Theory is a perfect example, with fans divided over who's the heart of the show and who they wish would just go away. So I'm gonna go over the most loved and the most hated characters in The Big Bang Theory. It's hard not to love Penny. She's the down-to-earth neighbor from across the hall who became the glue of the friend group. What could have been a cliché dumb blonde was turned by Kaylee Cuoco's performance into a character with real heart and growth. As one fan noted, in my opinion, she is the most fleshed-out character in the show. Penny starts as a struggling actress/waitress and grows into a confident pharmaceutical sales rep and loving friend. She's bubbly, street smart, and brings a dose of social savvy that complements her geeky friend's book smarts. Penny's best moments are often her comedic one-liners and her compassionate big sister role in the gang. Who can forget her singing of "Soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur" to comfort Sheldon, or her eye-rolling quips when the guys are being particularly nerdy. Over 12 seasons, she evolves from a commitment-phobic party girl into a supportive wife to Leonard and an Aunt Penny figure to Sheldon and the others. Fans love how genuine and caring Penny is beneath the sarcasm, since she defends her friends fiercely and can emotionally out-intellectualize even Dr. Cooper when it counts. Penny became, in many ways, the heart of the show. She's proof that a character doesn't need a PhD to be brilliant. However, the next character is quite the opposite. Priya Koothrappali, Raj's younger sister and one of Leonard's serious girlfriends. Priya swooped in during season 4 and immediately stirred up trouble, mostly by dating Leonard and directly challenging the beloved Leonard-Penny pairing. In fact, Priya is often considered the antagonist of season 4 for creating a rivalry with Penny. Many viewers never forgave her for that, which already put Priya on the fandom's bad side. But she gave them plenty of other reasons too. Priya was smart and successful, but came off as controlling and sneaky in her relationship with Leonard. She pressured Leonard to cut ties with Penny and even tried to dictate aspects of Leonard's life, which did not endear her to the audience. To top it off, Priya wasn't exactly faithful because she eventually cheated on Leonard with her ex-boyfriend while back in India. Leonard then broke things off. Between breaking up the show's core couple and not treating our boy Leonard right, Priya became one of the show's most disliked recurring characters. Even though she only appears in a handful of episodes, her impact was mostly negative. But that's why the next character brings laughter every time he's on screen. Stuart, the comic book store guy, has a spot among the most loved characters. This mild-mannered, self-deprecating geek went from a side character to a surprisingly central figure who many fans grew to adore. Stuart runs the comic shop the guys frequent, and he's kind-hearted, helpful, and just as nerdy as the main gang. But what really endeared Stuart to viewers is his role as the lovable loser. He often struggles with depression, money, and being perpetually single. Yet, he has a great sense of humor. In fact, some viewers argue that Stuart delivers some of the funniest lines in the show, even if not everyone appreciates him. His one-liners about his bleak life add a uniquely dark comedy to the series that fans came to cherish. Stuart's popularity surged in later seasons when he temporarily moved in with Howard's mom and later became a kind of live-in babysitter for Howard and Bernadette's kids. His increased screen time let his awkward but sweet personality shine. When he finally finds a girlfriend, Denise, a fellow comic enthusiast in the final season, viewers were happy that our sad comic clerk got a happy chapter. But it's interesting how one weird character can be so loved, while the next one is so hated. Remember Lucy? Because Raj definitely does. Lucy was a painfully shy woman Raj dated, and for many fans, she ranks as one of the show's most disliked characters. She suffers from extreme social anxiety, which initially made her a sympathetic figure, until viewers saw how her anxiety led her to treat Raj. On their very first date at a coffee shop, Lucy became so overwhelmed that she ditched Raj by climbing out through the bathroom window without saying goodbye.
I have to go to the bathroom.
I took off her coffee and she snuck out the bathroom window to get away from me.
Although Lucy later apologized and tried again with Raj, her flakiness continued. She often fled situations or lied because she finds it very hard to say no to people due to her anxiety. While we can empathize with her struggles, it was hard to watch her repeatedly break Raj's heart. Their relationship never found solid footing, and their conversations were literally done via text while sitting together because face-to-face was too much for her. In the end, Lucy breaks up with Raj via email when he becomes too clingy from her perspective, leaving Raj devastated. Ironically, that breakup helped Raj grow, but it cemented Lucy as an unpopular guest character. But there's another character that left a huge impact on the gang. Amy Farrah Fowler entered the show as a late season 3 surprise. She's a quirky neurobiologist who matched Sheldon Cooper's peculiarities note for note. Fans weren't sure what to make of Amy at first, but she quickly won us over with her oddball charm and enormous heart. Early on, she was as socially clueless and analytical as Sheldon.
Sheldon, you are the most shallow, self-centered person I have ever met. Do you really think that another transparently Oh, it's a tiara! A tiara! I have a tiara! Put it on me, 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 put it on me.
But Amy yearned for classic friendship and romance, and watching her come out of her shell became a highlight of the series. Fans grew to adore Amy's humor and relatability. Amy gave us countless golden moments.
This is a nightmare! How will you ever make a decision?
See, I don't know! What should I do?
Please pass the butter!
Crucially, Amy also humanized Sheldon over the years. Her patience, love, and yes, occasional frustration with him made Sheldon a better man by the finale. The two eventually marry and even win a Nobel Prize together, and you can bet fans were cheering for Amy every step of the way. What started as a one-joke character evolved into one of the most fleshed-out characters, complete with vulnerabilities and growth. However, my next pick is a bit controversial. Among the core 4 guys, Raj Koothrappali experienced perhaps the steepest fall in fans' eyes. In early seasons, many viewers found Raj sweet and funny. But as the series progressed, Raj's traits shifted in ways that did him no favors. By the later seasons, a lot of fans were fed up with Raj's antics, earning him a spot on the hated list, despite being a main character. So, what went wrong? For one, Raj's entitlement and selfishness became more pronounced. He had a habit of moaning about his loneliness while simultaneously behaving poorly in relationships, like when he dated 2 women at the same time, lying to each about the other. He also meddled in Howard and Bernadette's marriage, where at one point he was fantasizing about Bernadette and even hoping their marriage would crumble so he could have a shot with her. Fans also grew annoyed with Raj's treatment of women. Once he overcame his selective mutism, he ironically became a pretty toxic dater. And by the end of the series, Raj's character hadn't matured as much as fans hoped. He remained single and somewhat clueless. Many viewers felt frustration toward Raj for never quite learning from his mistakes. Of course, Raj still had his funny moments and redeeming qualities, and his bromance with Howard was often golden. But ask a Big Bang Theory fan about Raj, and you're likely to hear, "Ugh, Raj made me so mad by the end," which we can't be said the same about his best friend. What a journey Howard Wolowitz had both on-screen and in fans' hearts. In the early seasons, Howard was the sleazy geek, constantly hitting on women with cringy pickup lines. But Howard probably grew more than any other character, and by series end, he transformed into a devoted husband, father, and all-around hilarious guy. Howard's turning point largely begins when he meets Bernadette. She calls him out on his more unsavory behavior and helps him mature. Early Howard had his laughs, but he wouldn't have remained likable without changing. Over time, Howard becomes a genuinely caring partner and friend. He still cracks jokes and does goofy impressions, but there's growth. He stands up for Bernadette, apologizes when wrong, and even overcomes massive fears, like going to space. By the end, Howard is a family man and arguably Leonard and Sheldon's closest friend. Simply put, fans adore Howard now. He's often cited as people's favorite because he's funny, he's lovable, and he's the underdog who grew up. Now, before I move on to the worst and the best characters in the show, I have to give an honorable mention to one of the most hated characters in the show, Ramona Nowitzki. If you're thinking, who the heck is Ramona? You're not alone. She appears only a couple of times yet. In those brief scenes, she earned infamy as the girl who tried to steal Sheldon. Essentially, Ramona is a Sheldon Cooper superfan turned stalkerish antagonist. She's a Caltech grad student who idolizes Sheldon's work and imposes herself as his sort of girlfriend / research assistant. She moves into Sheldon and Leonard's apartment to micromanage Sheldon's research 24/7, forbidding him from any fun or socializing. Ramona gives Sheldon no personal space whatsoever, to the point of creeping out the entire gang. Eventually, Sheldon gets fed up and unceremoniously kicks her out.
Oh, you want me to share credit?
Sheldon Lee Cooper is not only the breakout character of The Big Bang Theory, but he's one of the most iconic sitcom characters ever. Sure, Sheldon can be infuriating, but when fans were asked who they love most, Sheldon's name kept coming up. With his genius-level IQ and childlike understanding of social norms, Sheldon delivered the majority of the show's biggest laughs and most memorable catchphrases. Jim Parsons' masterful portrayal made a potentially obnoxious character utterly endearing. He's a brilliant theoretical physicist with zero social skills or filter, which leads to wonderfully absurd moments.
Come here! Bazinga.
Importantly, Sheldon's character brings out the best in those around him. His friendships with Leonard, Penny, and the gang drive much of the show's emotional core. Fans loved watching Penny crack Sheldon's hard shell over the years, or Amy's patience and devotion gradually teaching him how to love. Of course, Sheldon can be polarizing, and some people do find him annoying or would hate to have a roommate like him. But when it comes to sheer fan affection, Sheldon's in a league of his own. The combination of his catchphrases, comedic arrogance, and eventual character development created a legend. In the end, Sheldon gets the last laugh since he tops my most loved list and even gets that Nobel Prize. But undoubtedly, the most hated character in the show was quite close to Sheldon. Leonard's mother is one of the most emotionally damaging presences in the entire series, and the worst part is how calmly she delivers it. Beverly Hofstadter is not loud or explosive and not openly cruel, but she is precise, clinical, and relentlessly dismissive, which somehow makes everything land harder. From her first appearance, it is clear that Leonard grew up as a psychological experiment, not a child. Beverly analyzes him constantly, reduces his emotions to data points, and shows open favoritism toward his siblings. Leonard's need for validation suddenly makes perfect sense once you see how thoroughly it was denied. What makes Beverly so hated is not just her behavior, but her refusal to acknowledge harm. In episodes like the cooperation escalation and the maternal combustion, she frames emotional neglect as intellectual honesty. When Leonard confronts her, she does not apologize. She deadass says this.
You're here to tell me all the ways that I failed you as a mother.
Yeah, and get comfortable, because it's a long list.
Is it happening soon?
Even worse, the show often treats her detachment as a joke. Laugh tracks follow moments that are genuinely uncomfortable, like her casually admitting she never hugged Leonard as a child. Watching Leonard regress into a desperate need for approval around her is brutal, because it never resolves. Beverly represents a very real kind of damage. The kind that teaches you love must be earned through performance. That is why so many fans rank her as one of the most hated characters in the entire show. That's it, folks. If you want more videos about The Big Bang Theory, just let me know down in the comments. And make sure to subscribe and check my other videos. I'll catch you guys in the next one.